Hello guys, and welcome back. This is going to be TheEnder, and maybe I should say I'm going to be TheEnder. Man, words. Okay, so we have Mind versus C. This is going to be the round of 8 from BCTV Star League. I think this could be considered Match B or Group B. And so yeah, so we already saw Killer and Snow, and I'll try not to spoil that in this game. But this is going to be Mind and C. So it's going to be a TBT. And it looks like it's going to be on Fighting Spirit for game number 1. So, alright. I forgot to look up their names, but I do believe C was most recently on NBC. So I would assume that's him in red. And so spawning in the bottom left position, the yellow Terran, we are going to have Mind. And in the upper left position we have C. So yes, it is a TBT, which admittedly is not my favorite mirror matchup. But I've seen the games, and we're not going to have any. When I say I see the games, I've seen the listing of the times that the games are going to run. So it doesn't look like there's going to be any like crazy 50-minute TBTs into battle cruisers. Which, I mean, we need one of those every once in a while, but, you know, we don't want one of those every game in a best of 5, and of course this is a best of 5. Okay, so based on the overlay, this might not be Group B, it might be Group A. But whatever, there's just 8 people left, and we've already seen one person being eliminated. And we are going to have a proxy Rax. But in TBT, this actually isn't like a crazy cheese. This is reasonably standard. Usually. Yeah, I mean, you see there's gas follow-up, there's a supply depot. So in TBT, since you don't actually use your barracks for production, it's completely fine to make your barracks halfway across the map, make a single Marine, and then literally float your barracks into the enemy base for scouting. So this isn't crazy cheese, and it's not like, you know, if it gets scouted that the game is over. But yeah, so keep your pants on, if you were wearing pants. I assume you should be. Oh yeah, so I love checking the YouTube statistics, and I wanted to give a shout out to all the people in Kazakhstan that are watching. Apparently 10% of my viewership comes from Kazakhstan, and I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, shout out to you guys. Keep doing it. Yeah, I was rather surprised as well. I don't think I've met someone from Kazakhstan, but yeah. Anyways, so back to the game. First Marine for both players. They're running into each other. Let's see who wins. Oh! Looks like Mind's Marine got the first shot by some very, very slim margin. And so he's going to survive. So second Marine was made, and it looks like the barracks for C is going to start flying over. Looks like Marine versus Marine high-speed car chase. Actually, the SCVs have done a significant amount of damage to that one Marine. I think he's taken like 3 SCV hits. And Marines, they are super, super weak. Yeah, he's taken 4 SCV hits. So, sorry, so it's a little bit of scouting information, pretty good scouting information. And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, our red player C is going to be taking a little bit more loss than Mind, as after all he did lose 2 Marines compared to only 1. But yeah, so he's gotten out his Vulture, he's gotten out his Machine Shop, he's gotten his Expansion. Expansion timings are pretty similar, and both barracks are moving in to scout the opponent. Now, one annoying thing for C here is that since he didn't keep any Marines alive in his base, he's not going to have anti-air for the near future, so he won't actually begin to be able to push away. Nice! So the barracks is blocking the Machine Shop for Mind. Of course he can float it away, but it's still annoying to have to reposition your factory. Oh, that tank needs to get out fast. Okay, so since there is no machine shop, there can't be mines for those vultures, so it's not the end of the world. They can't take on that tank at all. They'll only do a quarter damage. Wait, did the factory not go high enough, or did the barracks chase it? The barracks might have been chasing it. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, so since he doesn't have any marines, he doesn't have anti-air, so he can't push that barracks away. So that barracks is going to be there for a while until he gets out Goliaths or turrets. Whereas his own barracks, he had to pull back because, you know, if it gets burning, then he'll have trouble. He'll have to rebuild it before he can make any more factories. It's okay. Armory on the way for Mind. Whereas C is gone for... Okay, so he is getting Goliaths, actually. Yeah. I mean, scouting is a whole lot of... What is that tank doing there? Alright, so there's the scouting tank for C at the 12 o'clock position. And it looks like it's going to rejoin the other army. Maybe it's just scouting for proxies. I don't know what even could be proxied there. But they're pushing across. Siege mode on the way for Mind, but it's going to be delayed heavily because of that barracks. Doing a really nice job of blocking it. It looks a little bit like, because C knows that Mind was delayed on his upgrades, he's actually going to push in. But his Goliaths were delayed by that barracks, and so he's actually not going to have all his troops in one spot at the same time, so he's got to pull back. So I mean, it seems like a rather odd crew of units there, you know, 2 siege tanks, 2 Goliaths, and a vulture. I would bet that the reason for the vulture, in addition to holding off enemy vultures, it's really going to be useful to snipe enemy mines. Alright, so Mines barracks goes down there, and he's only got 2 factories, so he can't throw down anymore. Alright, so now he's going to start rebuilding it, but that's 150 minerals, which is reasonably annoying to lose. But yeah, so one of the decent things vultures are good at is they can one-shot mines. So you know, it's a useful skill. These tanks, they can, but they don't do enough damage to you know, if you have a group of mines. So so tanks can take a lot of damage from it. But bring that vulture along, he'll snipe the mines. Everything's good. Alright, so the first siege line has been drawn. This siege line gives C a little bit better position. He's got more of the map. But it's very early in the game, so I don't think anything's gonna... I don't think anything's gonna come from it. I'm gonna bet he actually either tries to bust through Mine's line, or he retreats pretty soon. Free vulture. Vultures do have speed and mines, though. And it looks like speed and mines are going to be coming out for C pretty soon, also. Good vulture. It's going to delay that 3rd base expansion. And he gets the SCV. What a jerk. So I've been told that right where that vulture was, on the ramp, on the right side of the ramp, that there's actually like a spot where you can get stuck. It's like a black hole, a micro black hole. And of course, I don't play this map. I don't know, but I've seen it happen before. So that's just something to keep in mind. That on some of these ramps, it's not just bad being on a ramp. It's literally like it's a trap. Alright, so C manages to slow down that 3rd base for Mine. I hate it when Mind plays, because it's like, his name is Mind, and he's a Terran, so he's like constantly throwing down spider mines. It's just so annoying. Oh! Vultures are getting this round on the tanks. They're going to start throwing down mines. We can't see them, but I would bet that those tanks are going to die. 4 vultures versus 2 tanks. In a straight-up fight, they can't win, but because of the mines, oh! So with that tank gone, the 3rd base is definitely going to be cancelled or killed. Looks like there's an SCV working on it. Maybe he's trying to finish it and float it away before... Nope, alright, it got cancelled. Yeah, sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing myself think. I forgot to reduce the volume on the Korean, so they're yelling in my ears just a bit. So alright, third base for C has completed it in his main. He's going to have to float it out if he wants the 12 o'clock position. And he's also going to have to kill the spider mine that is currently in the way. But alright, so far C is at 90 supply. He's got a good tank line, really boxing in Mind. And on the other hand, Mind is at... Please click on one of his units. Please? Please? Maybe? No? So they don't want to click on one of his units. They don't listen to me. Alright, there we go. 89 supply. So Mind's maybe only like 5 behind in supply compared to C. But the positioning is the problem. Of course, as you know, siege tanks are not the most mobile units, and in StarCraft 1, once you set up those siege lines, it can be very, very costly to try and break through if you don't have enough units or the proper tech, like you know, wraiths or dropships. But so yeah. So the noose is being closed around Mine. Going for a vulture drop, that's an excellent idea for economic harassment. I don't think the mines are going to see that at this 9 o'clock position, since you know they're burrowed, they have such short range. But yeah, this could do a lot of damage. Alright, he's going for it. Single vulture in the natural, looks like 3 in the main. There's already some counter vultures from C. Oh, but they stopped moving. And if he can throw down some mines, that's super annoying, because it's... I mean, vultures don't trigger mines, and neither do SUVs. SCVs, not SUVs, sorry. But I mean, if hypothetically, you know, a unit goes back there and it just drags the mine into the SCVs, it's just like, oh, so bad. And that turret got stopped. The one vulture in the natural. Stop the turret. So that's surprising. It doesn't look like Mine's gotten his +2. So there's the mines and there's the tank. So if Mine can pull those mines into the SCVs, he'd be super happy. But yeah, so we didn't see a +2 going down for Mine, and that's really important in these mech versus mech engagements. So +2 is the upgrade that allows siege tanks to two-shot one another. Because of course normally they do 75 damage, but they've got 1 base armor. So the regular 2 shots would leave a siege tank with something like, you know, 2 or 3 health. But once you get that +2, then no, they have 70. Yeah, all right. So they have 70 base attack, and then the +1 gives them that +5. And so they need +2 to have 80, so they 2-shot them. Alright, but yeah, but the idea is without that +2, it takes 3 shots compared to 2 shots. So it's really important to get that in TVT. And Mine had, for some reason, not gotten his +2, I just stopped at +1. Alright, so we have a pretty fast science facility and starport. It's probably just for upgrades. I don't think he's going to go for vessels. I don't think vessels are very useful in this matchup, and that'd take a ton of gas. Alright, so Mind is going to push out, he's going to break the siege line. That being said, I mean, if he's pushing out, and we saw that C was ahead behind, or was ahead before, somewhere C's got a pretty big army. Maybe this is it at the 9 o'clock position, pushing in. Alright, so we have a double dropship going in, and I mean, 2 dropships is not too much, but if he can bring in more, actually has 3 tanks. This is going to be really annoying. Of course, once they're sieged, you know, it's super hard to get past the, you know, the base layout to get there. That Wraith is going to pick away at him, but it's going to take a while. Yeah, I mean, that little, you can see he's only losing 7 HP per shot, and for all we know, you know, a Goliath could come in by the time that happens. Alright, so they are targeting down the armory, and it looks like there is an upgrade that's not going to finish. Come on, you need to focus it. Alright, looks like maybe 2-3 shots. 1 more shot. And armory goes down. No +2 for you. Oh, but this somehow that army that I'm like, you know, if Mind has this huge army where it C's, well, it's pushing into his natural now. What? Alright, so it got cleaned up. There's a... I feel like I miscasted that because I was paying too much attention to the yelling in my ear. But yeah, so C was actually pretty far ahead that entire time. You know, yes, Mine broke out, and you know, he got out of his base, he stopped the siege line, but he lost too many units in doing that. So when he pushed into the natural of C, and he lost all those tanks there, that was pretty much it. So alright, game number 2.